Race one for the weekend for them, and a pretty hotly contested championship. We've got on pole position Carl Hooper. When the lights go on, get all important start here. Great start with row 2 from Gordon May. He's certainly one to watch, and Carl gets the job done on pole position. Flies around turn number 2 on the 28 machine. We've got SJ Cavell there in second place. And a good start from Jared Horn. So these guys were 1, 2 and 3 all weekend. Last weekend, Ruapuna, round number 1. And these guys on hot pace here at the moment as well. So front 3 going off in the distance. Alex Butts and Vaughan Main and Nick Southerwood, 4th, 5th and 6th on track. And these guys are competing for the Hillbilly Cup. We'll talk about that a few times over the weekend. Real silverware up for grabs, these guys here. Auckland-based riders going at it. So this is going to be good as we get this one underway. We're in lap number 1 of 10. And Carl Hooper, he was a superstar last weekend and already on his way to success here. SJ Cavell and Jared Horn, 2nd and 3rd in this race here, and they are desperate to try and cling on the back of this guy here to stop him from running off with this one here. They're into the hairpin for the first time. Good line there from SJ Cavell, gets it all nice there. So he's going to pile on a bit of pressure. We'll keep an eye on this one here. The front 3 already sort of drift off into the distance. This was the top 3 we had from last week, and it looks like we're going to have similar podium look this time around. It's all on here. So 1 lap down and 9 laps to go. Some brilliant pace from these guys here as we've got Carl Hooper, SJ Cavell, Jared Horn. That's the top 3. We go Alex Butts and Vaughan Main. Christopher Fiore up there now in 6th place, ahead of Nick Southerwood, who's dropped down to 6th place. Chris Burt, Al Weir, Angus Boyd, Josh Dull and Sam Davison there. That's our top 12 as we get right in the thick of this one here.
All right, King Street Motors, thanks to Daryl and the crew down there. King Street Motors here in Timaru, the South Canterbury capital. Great to have an independent motor vehicle workshop getting in behind our event, and that's what I like. Very successful businesses like that are always great to support back again. Why? Because they're being independent. They're not aligned to a franchise, so no matter what make of vehicle you've got, they'll know what's right for you. Or they'll know, for example, that you can, if you go to a garage and sometimes they'll be saying, oh, well, we're changing your filter, we're using a manufacturer's part, but there are some very good aftermarket parts to use, and a garage will be doing it for you in the interest of you, the customer, and not necessarily that of the brand that another company is representing. So shout out to King Street Motors, proud to be supporting our racing this weekend. Love having them on board, not just your car, but your bike and your boat and anything that goes with it. All the warranty fitness services, plus, of course, your vehicle testing as well. Take it to the best. It's King Street Motors right here in Timaru, proud to be behind racing. And Brad looking out for that one. SJ Cavell picking up the game. The 36-year-old certainly starting to feel a little bit of pressure when it comes to racing, because he came into the event as almost the pre-race favourite, but Carl and at times Jared are undoing him.
Yeah, this is really good from that front 3. They're on the 109s, all 3 of them in the 109s. The fastest lap was Carl on a 109.4, so he's got half a second of gap, but the gap in the battle in behind is absolutely electric at the moment. We've got Alex Button, now Chris Fiore is now up into 5th, ahead of Vaughan Main and Nick Southerwood, but there's 4 of them separated by not a lot on track. We've got 1 down in turn 4, the John Jones Steel left-hander, so hopefully everything's A-OK. We'll try and catch an update there, but I think it's our race leader. I think it looks to be Carl Hooper. He's up and OK, but drama only on lap number 2, and it looks to be the 28 of Carl Hooper who is down. We've only got 1 in the front, so we might have lost SJ as well. This is packed full of drama. We've got the 74 Jared Horn. He's in the bus stop well on his own. So we've got Jared leading them through the bus stop. That's going to mean we're going to have Alex up into 2nd place. Chris Fiore's now found himself in a podium spot with Vaughan Main and Nick Southerwood there now up into 4th and 5th place, as we've lost our 2 race leaders. So this is massive drama. Well, not only in the race, but in the championship as well.
And I thought so too, Brad, because that was a lot of dust just for 1 bike. So I've got an idea the 2 of them have gone out together, which is why there was a significant cloud. And they've gone over there behind the fencing area, so I'm sure they'll be okay. And we certainly haven't got a red flag, so there's no serious incident as such. That would have been called certainly seconds ago by now. So obviously they're okay, which is great news. But that's proving the pressure is on for those guys. And man, what's the DNF done to those efforts that we've seen? So hey, look out, Jared Horn. He could even be the front runner on the overall points at the end of this race, and he's on his own as well, Brad. So let's hope in his mind he says, well, I'm not going to do what those guys did, and even buttoning off half a second should still give him enough of a buffer. Great bit of ride.
Oh, absolutely. He's just got to get this one home now. He had a Massive 4-second advantage over Alex, who was in second place, but now it's Chris Fiore, the lone Yamaha out in the field. He's managed to get himself into second place now, so he's flying. He was back in about 5th or 6th early on. He's done the moves when it counts, and now look at him go. The number 40 from T. Kofola on the Fortune Botany Honda supported Yamaha MT-07, so predominantly the Suzuki SV650 out there, the MT-07, the Yamaha 650 twin. And they've been over in the last 12 months to do some modifications to the bike to be a bit more comparable. And look at Chris, he is flying on his one at the moment. So Jared Horn out now to a 5.1 second advantage over Chris Fiore. There in second place, Alex Butson is the man on the bubble in the podium. Vaughan Main, Nick Southerwood and Chris Burt, that is 4th, 5th and 6th position. But Angus Boyd, Josh Double and Al Ware with Sam Davidson now getting up inside the top 10 on the Ducati Monster. So we've got 3 different manufacturers on display here, and great Pro Twin racing. And Jared Horn from Whangamata could end himself with a massive championship points lead after this one.
I'm already excited, Brad, because I'm going to talk to 2 new riders at the podium at the end of this one, because we've just been talking to those same 3 for all of the 3 races at Ruapuna last weekend. Bang, we've lost 2 of them in Carl Hooper and SJ Cavell. So we've only got Jared as a repeat performer to be on first 4 podiums of the first 4 races. But we're going to have either Chris or Alex join. Look at us, we're all on here at the moment. So just when the pressure comes on, maybe a change, a bit of squeeze up on the inside. Oh, I think it might be. I think we might have made that one stick. Looking out for Alex Butson. So Alec had it, lost it. Chris was there. He didn't have it, then he got it. Now he might be losing it again. So good toing and froing going on. And all the time that kind of fighting happens amongst 2 guys on the racetrack, that's just allowing Jared Horn, the man from Whangamata, the plumber extraordinaire, he's just out in front cruising because the pressure is staying off him when you've got 2 guys fighting behind him. They're just worried about each other, and they've just allowed Jared to break away from the bunch. So it could be one of the biggest winning margins we've seen in Pro Twin racing. As Brad's been talking about, 3 different manufacturers and models of bike. The key significance, of course, they're around that 650cc. There's some difference in cc capacity depending on what the manufacturer is as to how much power they produce. They're another production-based class, so you can't go and doing any turbo boosts or anything of significance to the power of the machine. They've still got to run on pump gas as well. In fact, the only sort of major change you do is suspension. You can actually completely take out the manufacturer's suspension and put your own in, plus in the front do some changes as well suspension-wise. The exhaust as well is something that you can change, but the motor itself's got to be completely standard. So too for things like airbox and handlebars and a tank on them and many of the other parts that make a motorcycle. So when we talk about production base, these are bikes that can be brought off your Suzuki, Ducati or Yamaha dealer and literally registered, put out on the street, or in our case sold and put onto a racetrack. And who knows, the history of these bikes might see them back on the street one day. A lot of guys go aftermarket fairings as well, which means that they've got the original fairings. They use race ones on the bike. They can put it back and make it look like brand new. Just had one lady owner done a couple of laps at levels. Might be all that they put on their CV on Marketplace or Trade Me at the end of it. So Brad, what an upset.
Yeah, this is all on here. So Jared Horn, 5.9 second advantage. So the man on the KIP Racing Pirelli tyres machine from Whangamata. He is on Stream Street at the moment. And remembering, you've got to have the same set of tyres in the entire weekend. So these guys have got to be conscious of that. We're early in the week and they get 3 10-lap races. And this place is very abrasive on tyres. So for Jared Horn to be able to just relax in there, cruise home. He's got a 5.9 second advantage. Nurse those tyres home. And he's flying. So there we go with that one there. The battle for second is raging on. Alex Butson's now in second place ahead of Chris Fiore, and they're lifting each other's pace right up now. So Jared Horn, he's now dropped into the 111s. He was a 109 earlier on in the race, so just knows he's got to nurse those tyres home. And the guys at second and third are actually quicker on track now, but still that gap over 5.5 seconds. So keep an eye on this one. Alex Butson and Chris Fiore hammering times to the podium. We've got Nick Southerwood in 4th place. Vaughan Main doing a good job on the number 49 the Springs Electrical machine. That's 5th place for him. Chris Burt, then Angus Boyd, Josh Double, Al Ware and Sam Davidson on that beautiful sounding Ducati Monster. That's our 10 runner still going as drama in the championship. Pole position man and winner of 2 of the 3 races last weekend, Carl Hooper, is down in turn 4 alongside him, the man who won the New Zealand Grand Prix last week in SJ Cavell. So drama in the championship and playing right into the hands of all these other guys here. We've got 10 still out on track. We've got 3 laps to go. And hot pace here from Pro Twins thanks to King Street Motors.
All right, Carl Hooper, SJ Cavell, two of our hot shots from last week of racing, and Carl Hooper and SJ Cavell, we saw the puff of dust, and it was significant bit of dust, and first of all, let's claim somebody and realised that our race leader had gone. Bang, the race runner-up had gone as well. We're not sure whether they came together or was a coincidence they went down at the same spot, but certainly gives us a reason as to why there was a larger than expected puff of dust as they went trespassing, went off the tar seal and onto the dirt. These bikes aren't made for doing that, and they've gone down and bit the dust. The good news is they must be A-OK. We've not had a red flag call. They've safely got out of the way. The bike's obviously well enough off the track as well. If a bike's laying on the track, there'd definitely be a red flag call. So well done to the organisers, knowing exactly what to do. Two guys might be down, but the race is not out. So great work there from a race control point of view. Yes, indeed, King Street Motors right here in Timaru. It is 650 Pro Twin Racing. These great bikes, in fact, are classed, approved in the top three last year. Somebody like Zach Fuller, who's gone on to great heights and being in our top three for the Suzuki International Series, and one of those running top 4 or 5 now, of course, in his debut year in our Supersport 600. So a very good christening ground of Pro Twin Racing. So you've sort of got a 300 Supersport, you've got a 650 Pro Twin, you've got a 600 Supersport, and sort of a tier of racing as riders progress through their excellence in the sport. They can either be in any one of those three. They're proving to be three of the great classes as a build up to those that end up in Superbikes. There's very few talented riders that would go bang and end up by straight in Superbikes. There is a nurture ground, a nursery for them to have ended up in there. So nice to watch some great racing out on the track back. Our C-Test coverage here on Sky Sport Next, showing it up at its brilliant best as well.
Oh yeah, this is all on here. So Jared Horn back into the 111. So the guys behind him were quicker on that last lap around, but a massive moment from Alex Button. He nearly lost the front end of that SV650 when he went out to the hairpin. White flag out, we've got 1 lap to go. Jared Horn, he scored a massive 5.7 second advantage. So it certainly looks like only a mistake from here is going to cost him that one there. And the battle for second now firmly in the hands of Chris De Fiore. He has got about a second gap back to Alex Butson. So Alex, that mistake, very, very costly, and lucky to hang on to it, really. He was way out of shape and got that thing wrestled back together, but that's the battle for the podium as we see it. Nick Southerwood, Vaughan Main still have that great battle going on. There's less than 2/10 of a second in that battle for 4th and 5th place. Angus Boyd, Josh Double, Chris Burt, Alware and Sam Davison, still our top 10 runners at the moment. But for this man here, never been to Levels International Raceway before yesterday. He's come out swinging today. He's had a bit of luck go his way, but take nothing away from the KIP racing man. Jared Horn's going to take a Pro Twin Race 1 win here on the weekend. We're going to go back to Chris De Fiore. He's going to hang on for second place in Alex Butson, who has the last lap of his life. Went into the 1:0.10.5, that's his fastest lap, but unable to get back into second place. So that's the podium update. Jared Horn, Chris De Fiore and Alex Butson. And we go back to Nick Southerwood. Vaughan Main, that's how they finish 4th and 5th. Angus Boyd and Josh Double there. Well done to those guys there. And 6th and 7th, Chris Burt's going to finish in 8th place ahead of Alware. And we've got Sam Davison on that Ducati Monster, finishing in a 10th place there on the number 11 machine. So, whoa, what a drama-filled race that was. King Street Motors, Pro Twin Racing, and a big podium shake-up is out. 2 of our championship contenders down at the end of the back straight into turn 4. Hopefully they're A-OK. We saw Carl Hooper, he was up and walking away from the machine, so hopefully we're going to have some racing from them tomorrow. We're going to go down to Neil in a minute, who's going to have our podium. And Jared Horn gets his first win in 650 Pro Twin Racing. That's going to feel real good. Full credit to the KIP racing team. Shout out to Lee. And apologies for last week. Got a few calls wrong there. So on the number 28 machine, just the same sort of colour scheme as Benno Rosendale's bike from the year before. Not actually Benno's bike from the year before. So we'll correct that one there. Full credit to Lee, doing a great job there in KIP Racing. And his man, Jared Horn, is going to take race 1 honours here in Pro Twin Racing. And then behind him, Chris De Fiore on the sole Yamaha in the field. That's going to feel pretty good for him to get up there. And then also Alex Butson's going to get himself a podium finish in Pro Twin Racing. So that's our podium. We'll cross down to Neil, who will have our presentations.
Is that how we get it?
Hey, fabulous to have this podium. More importantly, 2 fresh faces on the podium. I'd love it if we could do this every racing. First of all, Alex, man, some upsets happening out there. And you were on the edge of it too.
Here, had a bit of a moment in the second to last lap where it came out of the hairpin and had a massive tank slipper, had to lift off, just about went off the side of the track, and Chris sneaked up the inside and I just didn't have enough time to get back.
Hey, mate, I saw that frustration as you went over the line, the fighting spirit of it. You were so disappointed. Yet, hey, congratulations, you'd achieved so much.
Yeah, annoyed at myself, but I'll look back at this and be pretty happy with the result. Nice to see some heavier boys up on the podium rather than sort of 70 kgs. Guys are pushing that triple digits.
Oh, that is so nice. Christopher, welcome back, mate. Nice to see you. Hey, you put the MT up there just to prove that it's not a Suzuki race. Bang, here you are, fresh out of racing and straight into levels. How'd it feel?
Oh, yeah, it was good, man. I had a great race. That's probably one of the best races I've had for ages with Alex there. So, yeah, no, great. Really, really pleased. Could have done with a better start, but anyway, whatever.
All right, what do you think of the resurfacing down there and this Levels Raceway?
Oh, it's really good. I mean, it's super grippy. In fact, it might be a bit too grippy at the moment, but yeah, no, it's great. It's great. Really good.
Nice words. Thank you, Chris. Nice to see you with us. Jared, congratulations, mate. Your first time ever at this place. Here you are in the #1 position. How do you feel right now?
I don't really have any words, to be honest. It's that sums it up. Yeah, it was a little bit unfortunate with what happened to Carl and SJ, but I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I came down south to finish races, and that's what I plan on doing. And if it means I get the top step, I'll take it.
Well, in fact, you've been on the podium. You're the only one to have been on the podium in every race so far, so that'll put you in the lead for the points now. You've just got to keep it up. How are you going to do that?
I'm just not going to. Yeah, I'm not going to take any silly risks. You know, like I said, my goal is just to bring it home, take it easy, and well, not take it easy, but yeah, keep it upright, and yeah.
Did you see what happened to the other boys? They were just around your company at the time. Did you see what happened?
Yeah, they both did exactly the same thing and lost their front wheel in the bumps on turn 4.
All right.
Yeah. And thankfully I was just back enough to watch it all happen and go around them.
Learned a lesson from that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I was staying right away from those bumps.
Staying right away.
Yeah.
Oh, cool to see a new winner, brand new man here at Levels Raceway, all the way from Whangamata, and he joins us here on the podium. So nice to see Alex Butson. Well done to Alex. He's made it. Chris, only his first round this year, and back here again at Levels. And for Jared, a first-timer and already on the podium is #1 and our new points leader for glory in our King Street Motors Pro Twins. Bring it on, part of our action with NZSBK 2021 with Pirelli. Power is nothing without control, and Aon Insurance. Insurance for you, available everywhere at every time with more brokers around the country than any other brand. Bring it on with Aon, protecting our lives and our possessions.